In life, there's two parts of life. There's life before my workshop and there's life after my workshop. Today, you're gonna learn more about AI than 99% of the world. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll have new ways to implement AI into your business. Before we get into things, I'll show you a quick video about myself.
Nikky Kho is a Renaissance entrepreneur with a journey that spans Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and the global startup ecosystem. As CEO of Real AI Dynamics and the visionary behind Trella's venture studio, Nikky leverages AI and strategic innovation to transform small businesses and enterprises with custom software development and empower leaders as the world's leading serial entrepreneur, mentor, and creator of the #1 global AI tech startup houses. Nikky has worked in the heart of Silicon Valley since being a teenager working with Intel. While completing a JD, MBA, and enrolling in a PhD program in information technology with an emphasis in AI, he simultaneously built Self-Mastery Co., a global personal growth education platform with millions of clients and social media followers for celebrity education influencers. Nikky shares expertise at prestigious institutions such as Stanford, Wharton, and Harvard. His diverse interests include exploring over 150 countries, half Ironman Australia, culinary arts school, film production in Hollywood, Pebble Beach golf, and climbing Mount Everest. He has spoken and hosted events for over 10,000 presentations in 270 cities and 70 countries. Nikky founded 80 businesses and worked with diverse organizations like NASA, Tech Coast Angels, YPO, and Transamerica Financial Advisors. His expertise in AI entrepreneurship makes him one of the most in-demand speakers and consultants with fees ranging from $15,000 to $100,000. Over 1,000 media networks have approached him for news, magazine, television, documentaries, and podcasts, and Nikky has been repeatedly featured as CEO of one of America's fastest-growing companies on the prestigious Inc. 5000 list.
So last year, I was in 150 countries, and I have this year taught 4 to 7 workshops a week, teaching over 30,000 people in person and 300,000 people online, which is a huge difference because about 3 years before that, I spent the whole time just traveling around the world trying to figure out what to do. But when I saw what was possible with AI, I had to get back into the business. See, I had built a company. It was a personal growth education company. I grew it from 0 to $100 million in revenue, sold the company. Interesting enough, I bought back the company very recently, but before doing that, I became a professor. And I was teaching entrepreneurship. And a lot of my students were saying, hey, I'd love to learn how to build a business. What can I do? Now, I don't like teaching without actually leading by example. So what I decided to do was to launch a business myself and invite people to live with me in a 10-bedroom house. I have a 10-bedroom house in Las Vegas, and here I created a tech startup house program where in 30 days, you can learn how to build a business from 0 to getting profit in 30 days. Now, these entrepreneurs would have certain tasks, like write a book, make a video commercial, make a marketing infomercial, make a new brand kit, develop your financials, develop a pitch deck, reach out to 50 potential clients. Doing all this while developing your technology. Some of them had tech companies, some of them didn't. It's quite hard, unless you do like a hybrid play and you do consulting. But out of that first 10 cohort group, the 10 entrepreneurs in residence, all 10 of them were able to get to revenue and profit within the first 30 days. One entrepreneur in residence made over $100,000. Half of them made over $10,000, the rest over $1,000. It was pretty awesome considering that most entrepreneurs don't hit profit within the first 3 years. 99% of them go out of business within the first 5 years, which is something that didn't happen here. So I did it again. I did it in Hawaii. I did all sorts of tech house programs all over the world. And there was just a very simple task that you had to do. You had to read 1,000 pages of content that I gave people. And it was 100% free. In fact, when they left the program, they owned 100% of all the profits. But it motivated me when I do each of these tech houses, the pure pressure of educating people, show people that this is possible with AI. Because all this stuff that I told you about, those various tasks, there's 150 of them. I broke down entrepreneurship into a 150 task list. Now, not only did the entrepreneurs get all those tasks, like the tasks I gave you, writing a book, developing a video commercial, developing a branding kit, developing a website, maybe making your technology and continuing to build it out, reaching out to 50 customers. Not only were they able to do all those tasks in 30 days, which any one of them could take 30 days, but they were able to do all those tasks in a single day because you have 150 of these tasks. Now that's impossible, especially if it was like a year ago. But with AI, it is possible. So I want to shatter the realities of what people think is possible with AI because I've seen it, and so have my entrepreneurs in residence. In fact, One of the entrepreneurs in residence is actually in the room right now, who's going to be participating in an upcoming Tech Startup House program in the US, but he also did one in Salt Lake as part of our boot camps. We start every day with wellness exercise, where we have a holistic focus on health and wellness, hugs, prayer, and have a very strong Christ-like leadership focus, because I wanted to learn how to build a culture that was very different than my path in business previously growing up. So I want you to think about AI through the social experimentation mindset. What does that mean? Let's say you're a scientist and you mix two chemicals together and it explodes. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Now let's say you mix two different chemicals together and it turns into like an orb and it flies away. You go, oh, wow, that's interesting. Regardless of what happens, you're looking at the results and you're continually tinkering and playing with new toys. The same thing goes with AI. The fooling around and figuring it out with different AI tools to make things work together is kind of the best way. That field experience is the best way to really get things going. Now, I was successful and entrepreneurs were successful because of one main thing: passion and execution. The speed of which we are developing is so fast. If you guys read the Lean Startup, there's a very big focus on that, but I've been doing this well before that. And I think that you'll see the results when you really start focusing on that if you want to really grow a rapid business, especially when you're building a startup. Now, who here has a startup or is part of a startup right now or is interested in building one, out of curiosity? Or who here wants to be an entrepreneur and build a business or be a business owner? Okay, cool. All right, so who here uses ChatGPT on a daily basis? About half the room. That's interesting. Now, who here uses, like, say, 1 to 10 words per your typical prompt? How about 50 to 100? Over 100? How about over 400? Nobody. Usually, if you're using less than 450 words, which is exactly the number of words that are on the screen, you're using it wrong if you're trying to use it with your enterprise and your data. And the aspects of how prompt engineering work is that there's a focus on a persona. Are you a marketing expert? What's the context? Are you building a new brand kit? What's the instructions? Where's your data? Where's that data coming from? Now you can see that here, and you'll notice that last sentence at the very bottom, it says, please insert your data here. But we can also integrate that with your data, of course. Now, some of you don't want to build massive prompt engineering skills. So I created these tools. One is called a prompt engineer. And what it does, it takes very simple prompts and makes it higher quality. And it actually gives you a star rating. It tells you questions you might think about so that you could increase your strategic perspective on how you might want to make things work in terms of your business use cases. The other tool, which is really interesting about this, is something called Prompt Perfectionist. Now, Prompt Perfectionist was developed from a co-instructor who works with our company. We have all sorts of instructors all over the world. The only difference is here you get a great prompt that you can improve upon and increase the quality, copy and paste that prompt, and get a result right away. Prompt Perfectionist works, and this is a gift for you if you want to use those URLs, is that you have to answer the questions very thoroughly to get the result. In fact, you have to answer all the questions until you get an output. I used to think this was a great way to make business plans and also to make logos and make your designs, and it comes out very, very quickly. And so if you do this, you go through this process, the best thing that happens of this isn't the fact that you get a result from the AI tool. The best thing you get, whether you raise money from an angel investor or you have a board of advisors or a strategic coach or mentor coaching you throughout your business process, is that you get a new perspective, a new insight, a new way of looking at the world. And that's what this tool does. That's one of the hugest advantages of using AI tools or tools like prompt engineers or prompt perfectionists. The questions you get that make you think about things in different ways. Now, you can get that from your team, but now you can get that instantly, whether it's something in your personal life, your business life, or the new strategy that you're thinking about implementing. There always are going to be things that you haven't considered. Now, here we're doing that with a course, a course that we're building and what have you. But you could do this for pretty much any kind of use case. One thing you could also do it for is designing a mobile site. So here we're using a tool called Use Galileo. Use Galileo is a tool that allows you to create an example of some kind of a layout. It's kind of like UIs are. You could create a layout for your website, for your mobile sites. Now, you could do that with Figma. You could also do that with Photoshop. I've created amazing clean user interfaces, just simple tools like Photoshop. But the cleanness and quickness of taking those ideas that are in your head and putting it in front of a team before you do your front-end development and back-end development is so important. It could take a very long time. Some people were talking at earlier presentations about using whiteboards to design things. Instead of that, you could have a much cleaner user interface, a faster experience, something you get really fast in the hands of your marketing team, your C-suite, or your tech team, and get your strategic perspective before you spend lots and lots of time building something that isn't exactly what you want. And so we build stuff so fast. And we also want to get in the hands of the most important person as fast as possible. Most people think what you need to do is go through the typical 3 phases. You just try to see what's possible. Then you, after seeing what's possible with the technology and what's available today, then you create your MVP, and then you might red team it. Red teaming is where you might try to test it, try to do infiltration of and do kind of a test to see what's working, what's broken, what can need to be patched. But instead of doing all that before you reach out to customers, I find reaching out to customers first and getting something in front of them right away is the best way when you're building new businesses and new products, because you'll get real feedback. And not feedback from just your friends or family, but people who are actually potential paying customers. And that's why the people in our Tech Startup House program were able to get to revenue so fast as well, because they were reaching out to people and getting them interested in the insights even before the technology was developed. Now, some of the interesting things that you can do with ChatGPT is you can use it for a business plan or a marketing plan. Here, we're building a marketing and branding kit, and we're asking it, hey, what are some of the things we need to think about? I love creating logos, so I'm building a logo, a branding kit at the same time. Here, I'm also building a luxury welcome kit. Maybe you could send it to a print-on-demand center, and now I could have all sorts of branded merchandise and things I could send to people. Now, here's a great tool. It's called Gamma. Gamma allows me to build a PowerPoint presentation, a website, and a lead magnet all at the same time. Now, I build presentations in my Tech Startup House every single day. We'll bring in 50 leaders from YPO. It's usually people who have 100 million in revenue, are either the founders of the company, owners of the companies, or the CEOs of the company. And we'll have them mentor the people in our Tech Startup House. But in addition to that, I also create presentations myself in our programs. And so I'll use Gamma because it's not that I don't have the ideas in my head, I need to reference them. I want to make it so that the people can see what's in my head. This presentation is not for me. I know my content. It's for you to really understand what I'm doing. Now, one of the cool things about this is that it's creating great content. I can give this to my marketing team. They can look at it. They can get all sorts of interesting ideas for sales copy. And you'll notice that there's a little spyglass, hourglass, magnifying glass on the right. That's for a stock photo. If it was a little diamond, that's kind of like the universal symbol for artificial intelligence and AI-generated content. And you're seeing a lot of people tagging their files, like Adobe's tagging all their files, so that you can know whether it's AI-generated content or not. You can see here, now you can see there's a logo. I think it's clean. I think Canva is also a great tool for that, and it has great AI features. I love kind of the Canva integrations also that have been implemented in the new version of ChatGPT. But here you can also say, see, we have a welcome kit kind of created, and I'm asking to create an image for it. Now, the image is kind of cool because usually when you want to print marketing materials, you really don't know exactly what it looks like when you're, say, a print-on-demand company or you're a warehouse company printing out merchandise, gears for high-end clients, especially if you have luxury products. And this is a great way to do that. AI is a great way to really clarify for your marketing team instead of going back and forth and waiting a day, going back and forth, maybe waiting a week to be a graphic designer to come up with exactly what you want. They kind of continually tinker with it and kind of just getting the fine details done by your team at the end of the day. Here you can see the content. It's actually good. The content is pretty accurate. You should probably usually double check the stuff. Oftentimes the language might need to have your human voice into it because there's also a lot of great tools like copy leaks and what have you that kind of tell when something's AI generated or not because the voice may not have the human element. And that's why everyone should not use the default version of ChatGPT. Now, when you customize things, it's great. You can create all sorts of great tools. Here, we're able to build a website, we're able to build a marketing plan, we're able to do all that in less than 15 minutes, which is pretty awesome. Now, if this was gonna take a typical person to do all this, say 1 week, that's 200x productivity. And nowhere in history has there been tools that allow you to do this level of productivity with this much speed, this much accuracy, and this much quality ever before. And all the tools that I'm sharing with you today are also with free editions. Now I'm gonna focus on 3 very simple things today. First, we're gonna focus on the business processes because I think it's so important to understand how your processes work, your tasks, understand what the use cases are for AI, and most people don't even know how AI can help their business processes. The second thing you need to make sure AI works for your business is you write AI tools and AI models. If you don't have the right business processes or you don't have the right AI tools, you're not going to have a good AI model. You're not going to have a good AI business process. And the third thing we're going to focus on is your artistic gaze. Another way of saying that is your strategic perspective if you're in the C-suite. Otherwise, maybe you're working on a new tactic for your business, you're working on operations, you're streamlining different things. But your artistic gaze is something that can never be replaced. Two things that can't be taken away from humans ever. One is AI can't take liability, and two, AI can't take away your artistic gaze on how you use these tools. So I'm going to go into some cool AI demos. I put together a series of great videos to share with you about what's possible. First, let's talk about business development. So in our tech startup house, everyone creates new business plans. We do that in Las Vegas. We had a strong focus in the Hawaii tech startup house where people were paying $25,000 a month to live with me to get 30 minutes of my time each day for mentoring. And they were building best-selling books. Almost everyone had the ability to leave and turn into a #1 bestseller using AI. And there's all sorts of really great ways to do that. But first, VentureKit is a tool, VentureKit.ai. It allows you to build a business plan, your financials, whether you're building a new business or a new product. This allows you to have a new way of looking at things. It does SWOT analysis, looks at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats facing your new business line. It allows you to create a potential budget. So if you're doing say a fundraising raise, you could use this to create a pitch deck and have all your financials put together. This is an example you could do for any kind of business line, new business product, and I love the clarity of an executive summary because most people who, let's say that you come to us and we have an AI app lab, you want to build out a product. We need to understand what's your business plan, what's the technology you want built, what's the executive summary, how's it going to work, what's your game plan, what's your overall goals. And this allows us to have something that's built out right away. It does a pretty good job. In fact, it even does a feasibility analysis based on the market of what's possible today. What's the likelihood of you being successful or failing with your new business venture? Super, super important. The next tool is a tool called Designer. Designer is a tool that allows you to generate a book. Who here would like to make a book out of curiosity or become an author? Okay, we have some hands up. If you don't, you probably should, because whether you want to be an author or whether you just want to be an expert in your field and be known as an authority when you're giving your speaking engagements, there's nothing better than having a book to establish yourself as an authority. Now, Designer allows you to make books super fast. It'll create you your first draft. You still will need to add your human element and probably change each of the words to have your voice and your tone and expression. But it does great work at making high quality stuff very fast. This is an example of a book we did for Crovit. It's one of our clients. It's a huge company. It does about $250 million in sales, e-commerce sales, and they want to have a tabletop book. So this is something that we could have. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Choosing Home Furnishing Products. We created the niche, we created the product, we were creating the title, and then we're going to have AI then have us choose the sub-niches, and it'll generate the content. Here's the chapters, and we just push send, and it could create the content. There's a second way of making books that's also interesting. What you could do is you could go into ChatGPT and say, give me 25 different chapters I want to make for my book. And then what you do is you pick up your phone, turn on the voice recorder, and you say, just talk about each chapter. Let's say the first chapter is about AI for marketing. You just talk about that topic in your own voice, your own ideas for about 1 minute. Then you go to the next minute. So after you speak on 25 different topics for 1 minute, you have 25 1-minute audios that you could then run through v.io as a transcription service or just script, turn it into a transcript, upload that into ChatGPT or another service, have it transform it into a book, and then add your own artistic gaze to it. You use my prompt engineer to also refine it. Get citations if you're doing something more technical, if you're using digital object identifier citations and you're more of like a PhD, or if you want to do something more fun. Or if you're say, you're interested in making a book for your kids, you can go to childbook.ai, push a few buttons, and you'll have a book. Now, some people are thinking, wow, that's kind of interesting now. Now it's also a possibility. The reason why most people don't want to make a book isn't because they don't want to, because they don't know it's possible. And while this is going on, while it's generating a book, it usually takes about 3 or 4 minutes. At the same time, I could go to Galileo and UiZard, and I can make a website for my book or design something else. How much do you think this costs? Well, if I go to Designer, it costs $29, and I can make an unlimited amount of books as I want, just using AI, which is pretty awesome. I could make it in all sorts of topics. I could make it about my personal life. I could take those ideas that are in my head, and me not having a writing degree or journalism degree, I could now take those ideas out of my head, and I could become an eloquent writer. I could have those ideas and kind of change some of the words and some of my language, change the tone, change personality, and now I can have all sorts of things out there. And this is not something we just do with books. We could do this with video. We could do this for marketing materials. We could do this for our sales copy and sales letter writings. And I've studied all the greats in sales copy. Now here we also built a website, a membership site. There's something where you have a login, you have some sales copy, all while generating a book at the same time. The speed of execution is so fast and so key to get this kind of stuff done. And not only do I have that in one format, I have 2 different examples that I could share with my team. Now, if you're a Figma shop and you want to use Figma, you can do that too, and that's also great. I like doing this kind of stuff before I send it to my team. All my sites are custom coded, custom designed, all the graphics, but I like using AI to develop my funnels, develop my content, develop my creative, so I could go to my team and share with them an initial example so they could see what's possible, what's in my head that I want to get out so they could build upon it with their artistic skills. The same thing that we could do with a book, the same thing we could do with pretty much every aspect of our business in analytics. I think it's pretty awesome. All sorts of great user interfaces. Now, the cool thing is, this book on the left was generated by a 13-year-old girl talking about how other 13-year-old girls could become more productive. The book and its content was generated in ChatGPT. The cover was generated in ChatGPT. On the right is a book called Timmy and the Magic Garden. It was something that I made, a cover that I did speaking into my phone for about 5 minutes in a Chinese restaurant and developed this beautiful content. Then I could upload this as a reference image and develop similar images using AI page by page and turning it into stanza format where it's like A, A, B, B, so the AAs rhyme and the BBs rhyme, and it could be having a good moral story, uplifting people about what's possible when these kids could eat these magic vegetables, they get superpowers, and they learn about how good conquers over evil as they go on a journey and adventure. Pretty fun, pretty cool. In fact, we're building one of the ventures, since I launch a new venture each month in our tech house, one of the ventures is a child book writing or AI-powered organization that is a publishing house that does child book writing and also publishing. Now, a lot of people are thinking, why is Oscar Wilde on the screen right now? Well, Oscar Wilde was a famous artist and playwright. And you can see on the left is a picture of a photograph. Now, that photograph took 3 days to create. There used to be a whole problem back in the day of people saying, wow, anything created from a machine isn't protectable from copyright law. That'd make your code not protectable in certain eyes back in the day. They thought that that's what the case. In fact, that precedent still exists today. Anything that just comes out of a machine isn't protected by copyright law, but there's something that happened here. What happened was that this guy, Oscar Wilde, that photograph on the right of him was turned into a painting and was published. And the thing is, they took 3 days of him getting the right pose, getting the right art, getting him to sit there, trying to get that perfect picture for the camera. And this painter just came along and took it, saying, well, this is all human-generated content. It has my artistic feel. You can't protect it because your camera is just a machine. And the court said, we agree. However, what can be protected is the artistic gaze of the cameraman holding that camera, plus the output. And that allows us now to have all sorts of content that's created from machines, whether it's a computer or anything else, protectable. Because intellectual property law is not meant to protect your intellectual property. It's meant to inspire innovation. And now, what's the artistic gaze for AI? It's your prompt. Now, if you just write, make a picture of a cat, it's a lot less likely that you're going to get that cat picture protected. Now, if you have a 450 plus word prompt and your data is integrated to it, it's highly likely in the discovery process. So let's talk about what you can do with AI content. There's a great tool. It's an amazing tool called Letterman AI. I'm going to show you that. We have a program called AI Selling Systems, how you can build great content, AI newsletters. Some people are selling newsletters where per subscriber, they're making $3 per subscriber. Some are making $30 per subscriber and selling these newsletters. I'm going to show you how you can make one really fast, how you can make video commercials. We have a program called AI App Lab where we sold video commercials to companies that typically cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we also can show you how in our boot camps in Vegas, which we do every week, you do really quality social media content. We have a social media agency as well. This is Letterman AI. So here, I could go to this tool and I could say I want to develop a newsletter about AI. And instantly I have a content for a particular module. I go module by module, topic by topic, say, here, add a joke, redo the content, push a button, it refreshes it with new AI content. I could do research and have it pull research, and I could have it scrape the internet, automate the process of newsletter generation, and then put in a format for approval from a human editor that could look at the content. But it's pretty fast, pretty great. And I just love the quickness of it. This allows me to generate a newsletter. We have one called Why AI. And I think it's more important to learn what's possible, why you should be using AI, than even what AI is or the theories about what will be coming about AI, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's come a long way, whether it's not. What I really care about is none of that. I care about applied AI, what's going to be the use cases. And so we created a content newsletter that was just about that exact thing. And here it's grabbing pictures, it's grabbing all sorts of interesting things, but it can literally just pull elements into it and generate the newsletter. Now, most people, when they think about generating content, they think about the simple stuff. You could go to Midjourney or DALL-E. You can make really cool images. You know, it's very simple. Everyone's doing that. What's really cool, too, is how you could also use those reference images and seed them to make all sorts of interesting things. And also the speed of what's possible with AI is also pretty cool. Here we're using stable diffusion technology through clip drop. You're noticing that as I change every single letter, the image that's on the screen also changes super, super fast. Say the cat, ninja cat, and a mountain. Every single word changes things. Now, other than that, I wanted to share with you all sorts of things of what's possible. One of our clients is Adobe. And Adobe built something called Firefly. It's a great free tool that allows you to literally edit images, expand images, upscale images, and a lot more. And I'm going to share with you some of their use cases right here. Great use cases. Another thing that you could do is you can even take your photographs and you can animate them. I made this image in DALL-E, and I said, I want to make this in my LinkedIn banner. And so I said, well, it's kind of off-centered, so go to Runway ML, and I said I want it centered, I want to add a bunch of trees around it, and it made that image on the right. Kind of cool. I made this image, I put it in my PowerPoint presentation. It kind of wasn't really structured properly, it wasn't a vector image, and I wanted to upscale it. It was blurry, so I improved the quality. The other thing is I made my friend who was dancing with me into a robot using this tool called Wonder Dynamics. Not only can it do that, it can insert yourself or any of your friends into pretty much anything. Your favorite romance movies now could be you and your friends. Another thing you could do is if you watch professional sports, it's so much more interesting to watch professional sports if you're actually in the sport itself.
I'm never thinking backwards. That'll be the end of it. All right, smile for a second. Yeah. All right, got it. All right. 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 Come back up. And so look, we've inserted you in the avatar selection. And then you see where the red that's going, you could choose different players.
Yeah.
There's that shirt.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Where'd you get the idea to stick your tongue out like that?
Yeah, somebody copied me, you know.
It's like you've been lifting.
Now, one of the most sacred things I think is weddings. So you can now take all your wedding photos, and I can have an unlimited amount of wedding videos. You can pan in, you can pan out, you can move around it. We have all sorts of really fun social media videos we make just from photos. I made one for my dad's 80th birthday, and I didn't have enough videos of him, so I turned it into something animated from photos. You also go to things like Leonardo and do a lot of those kind of things. Also, Leonardo is a great way to take images and kind of like see what it might look like from different perspectives. So we just made a Nike shoe and kind of rotating around, just swiping our finger around, seeing it from different angles, which is kind of fun. Now, how do I bridge the gap between all these different tools and make them all work together? Well, I could go to ChatGPT, and instead of like the default version of ChatGPT, I might create a custom GPT. One of the things I like to do is create custom GPTs for sales copywriting. So I took one of my favorite marketing and sales copywriters, a brilliant guy in terms of copywriting, and I decided to add some of his sales letters to try to get his tone, his voice, and his methodology of how to captivate people, establishing authority, features and benefits of the sales copy, talking about a story that relates to people, and then leading people to the sales process after a money-back guarantee. And so that whole process could be interesting to develop a commercial. So I said, let's use that custom GPT and make a commercial. Go scene by scene, taking each of the scenes that ChatGPT spits out, putting it in Leonardo, and making little mini video clips for each element. This allows me to storyboard, which is taking different elements of the video before it's created and make each element out there with the right angle, with the right camera, with the right lens. Now, we're doing this right now with AI-generated content. You know, the graphics are kind of like, you know, a little bit animated, but we could also do that with more professional style videos. We could also add our tone of voice. We could use 11 Labs and take my voice or someone else's voice and use it to replicate the kind of tone we want as opposed to having voice actors. We could go to Speechify. We could even use the voices of famous celebrities and put them into different commercials. We could also create sound effects in Leonardo. We could pan in, we could pan out, we could control the artistic gaze and rotate around. And you could develop a whole marketing agency and video production service just off AI quality videos. In fact, we'll pay high quality marketers on how to do this, but the thing is those marketers were all trained from scratch, starting off as interns in my company for free, which is pretty awesome. In fact, in our company, we have over 100 interns that have been hired just in the last 4 or 5 months alone, just learning how to use AI tools like this. And now they're generating content for clients, but instead of a client paying $500,000 and renting out like a building or a street and trying to replicate a video with 3D Max files and drones, they could do all that for say $5,000 or $10,000 and come up with content that's even higher quality. I also love how ChatGPT adds humor. There's all sorts of weird things in this video. There might be a dinosaur in my office and stuff like that. And then it will make really fun commercials. This is all possible today with AI. And this doesn't take that long. This allows you to make commercials in minutes, not days, not weeks. You know, you could go to tools like Pictory or Opus Cut and take your YouTube videos, make social media cuts. You could go to InVideo and make a rough draft of a video just with a sentence and make a prompt to make a story. It's kind of cool, but I like how I could use AI models with bespoke solutions so I could avoid the hallucination of my message. In fact, it will even use tools similar to Adobe Firecut, which does subtitling for you, and it puts that message out there. So I have that ready to go as well, all automated. Even the process of subtitles and then translating it through Let's Chats or other services, so I can take those video messages and translate it to all sorts of languages. Even that service alone is a service that people used to pay a lot of money for because Google Translate is wrong 15% of the time. Let's Chat is wrong less than 1% of the time. Now, some people might say some of the AI tools have strange accents. For example, if you try to do Hindi, it might make you sound like you're an aristocrat or a royal. But the thing is, you could develop content that's very, very accurate, very, very cool, very, very fun. And this is all using AI tools. This allowed us to build this video for the new properties. It's the largest real estate developer in Dubai and also the largest real estate developer in the entire Middle East. $8 billion in properties in development at all times. And for this video, we're developing an AI influencer. This is a video that was entirely generated with AI. That girl does not exist. That building doesn't exist. But this is the Dubai skyline. This girl was generated using Kling and Conf AI, and the video was made with Luma Labs and Runway ML. And all this was put together just through the proper storyboarding process. The guy who made the video, he makes videos for Marvel. He generated, I don't know, probably dozens of Marvel videos, CGI content, but without using Houdini, After Effects, or any typical CGI content creation software. He was able to use these very simple, out-of-the-box tools that any one of the people in this room who's never used an AI tool like this before can use to create the same quality of these kind of videos. And you can look, the quality of her face, the images, the pores on her skin, all that is available now, presently today. This is not the future. And this is something that's being enhanced every 3 months, and maybe in the future it'll be enhanced every other week, because the speed of which AI is done is so fast that most of the tools I'm talking about today will be out of service, you know, or kind of like obsolete compared to what's possible in just a couple weeks or a couple months, which is really showing what's possible. Now, you can even create music. You go to Suno and just say, hey, I want to create a song. I want to make a song about real AI dynamics at San Francisco Deep Tech Week, where I was a keynote speaker. So it generated a song that I could put into my podcast. I could even add instrumentals.
Leaders gather, thoughts unbound. Deep Tech Week is going strong. Nikky Kho leads us all along.
Now, one of the cool things is that if you want to break the algorithm on Instagram, you have people comment on your post to get something. And then it can initiate a chat bot. And the number of interactions with that chat bot and your post will drive that post up to the point where I put up this post on Instagram, a fresh channel, and it got 330,000 views in 5 hours, and the chatbot was asking people to give us their number and subscribe to our WhatsApp channel, and in 5 hours, I got 500 people subscribed. I had to turn it off because you have a 1,000 subscriber limit on WhatsApp. And there's all this.
Can you see what's real and what is AI generated? This was the power of AI 1 year ago, and this is how it looks like today. If AI can create videos and images like that, imagine what it can do for your business, lead generation, strategy, finance, and more. AI is not just changing the game, it's making a new one. Do you want to know how to navigate this blue ocean? We from Real AI Dynamics want to show you exactly how to empower your business and profit from the AI era. Comment RAID to discover how.
Now, chatbots are great. I'll show you a little bit more about that, but I'm also going to show you how you could use AI to create spokespersons. You could also use multi-camera video sales letter technology with your digital avatar, and also video chatbots with your digital avatar. In fact, we're building one for the Dalai Lama right now. Now, this is Joanna. Now, Joanna worked on IBM's AI technologies. IBM technologies can include Watson and all sorts of other stuff, but this is what she's doing. She's talking for 2 minutes just about a picture. And you kind of hear what she's saying. It's kind of soft, there's ambient noise, but this is not Joanna.
Hello, my name is AI Joanne, and I'm super excited to be part of this amazing event.
Now it's translator.
Hola, mi nombre es AI Joanne, y estoy muy emocionada de...
It's a pretty good accent, actually, but I could also use video avatars to make triple
Today,
camera
I am here
videos.
before you, not just as an entrepreneur or a CEO.
This is not me.
Advocate for
The
transformation.
background
A guide
doesn't
to
exist.
unlocking a future
The
where
words,
your
I never
business not
spoke.
only
In fact, I didn't even
adapts
write
to
those
the
words.
ever
AI did.
evolving landscape of
This allowed me to
artificial
make
intelligence,
a
where you can
multi-camera
use
sales letter
AI
video. Video
to
sales letter converts
massively
so much
increase
more
your productivity
than just a regular
and
sales
use
letter.
AI assistance to accomplish anything. In fact, I am the AI avatar for Nikky Kho, the founder of Real AI Dynamics.
Pretty interesting. You can also add it to a chat bot so you can answer questions and get feedback. Now, I could even remove the text box and just talk to it. And the latency has basically disappeared now. But this is something that I recorded 6 months ago.
Increase productivity.
In fact, I could take that guy, and I could also make it so that people enter their name and email into an email capture screen.
When users go to my website, enter their name and email, they get an email that is sent to them that says, for example, Jamil entered his name. It says, Dear Jamil, hope things have been going great. I left a personal video message for you. Click on the GIF below to view it. So it's just click on this, and it goes to this page.
Jamil, thank you for joining the RAID community.
Now,
Congratulations.
the backdrop could be their
Now have
personal LinkedIn
exclusive
page,
access to
your
the
company's
special
page,
digital
or your
workshop of mine
client's
at
page,
Utah
or your
Tech Week.
potential client's page.
This presentation stands as one of the highest
Customized with tags with their name,
event.
information about their
Prepared
company. And in order to make an AI, it's
All right,
quite
we're going
a
to
digital
create
avatar. It's quite simple.
a gen avatar. And so we're going to go, we have right now the video avatars we're going to create. Going here.
Hey guys, I'm Joshua.
That's the founder of HeyJob.
So we only need 2 minutes of talking video.
And that's what we did. We actually created 2 minutes of talking video. And what we're going to do is we're going to find that video and we're just going to upload it. Face needs to be visible all the time. You look directly into the camera all the time. There's pauses between sentences and the environment's well lit. Footage looks good. So now we're going to record this consent. We're going to turn this camera on. Here is our participant, and we're going to have you read this statement here.
I, Real AI Dynamics, hereby allow HeyGen to use the footage of me to build a HeyGen avatar for use on the HeyGen platform. For safety purposes, this is the passcode, BNAJ.
Now, in 1 minute, you now all have your AI avatar. You could take that AI avatar and we could even create augmented reality labs. So this is actually like me, my digital avatar, my tech house manager, Chase. But the cool thing is you can see my chatbot, you can interact with it, and this looks like a VR world, but it's not. It's actually augmented reality. This is actually my Las Vegas tech startup house, where kind of like Pokemon Go, we have little things that you could interact with and talk to. And we can now turn this into a university. Now, if we have AI, AR glasses, we could also have that set up. I believe that's going to be the future. The difference of why we are seeing, I think, all sorts of people failing to get AR and VR to work is because people want to have the real world. They want to have convenient, easy to wear glasses around. And when that happens, you're going to see all sorts of interesting things happen. Now, Call Annie is interesting because this is something that actually allowed me to pass the first part of the bar exam, which is this very rigorous test for becoming an attorney. I didn't have to open a single book. In fact, all I did was drive back and forth 6 times between Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. And I took this thing called an MPRE with her feeding me answers to different questions I would need to remember and coaching me. And I believe this is going to be powering the future of education for future generations to come. Pretty interesting. Now, let's say we integrated our data and we wanted to create chatbots, 24/7 customer service. We're using advanced data analytics. Well, we might want to use something like Flux Prompt or N8N or Zapier and integrate all your data in different places. But you've got to understand what's the task you want to automate. What are the 3 low-hanging fruits you want? But what's the task you want to automate step by step? Understand where your data is. And then put everything together into a good flow. And I love how Zapier, you could really just go there and say, hey, here's something I want to create, the integrations I want, and it kind of builds a flow for you. Now, this is an interesting example of building a chatbot.
So we are going to go to the Real AI Dynamics Instagram page and click on message. And after typing the word demo, it initiates our chatbot.
Now, the first thing you want to do when you build a chatbot is you want to get the phone number and you want to get the email people, because then you could follow up with people. The other thing I want to point out is in this chatbot, it's highly engaging. It's not like a standard chatbot. At first it is, because we just want to get certain things, just like a form filled out. But it might share with you memes. It might share with you back and forth. Now, this is attached to a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad, or any other kind of thing that requires engagement to kind of like get your post to be shown more. This increases that with their algorithm and allows you to get more views, make more money, get more marketing, get more lead generation. And it does a really good job of doing that.
More inquiries about.
So you can see here they get to choose certain options. It's kind of canned.
Pretty engaging.
Eventually, after we get all the results that we want, what's going to happen is the AI portion comes in. Instead of the conversation being fixed, like you go to high-end platforms like Expedia, enterprise-grade platforms, their chatbot might have certain canned responses. You can't just pick up the phone and say, hey, I want to go to the customer service center. I want you to talk to the right person. You have to go through a switchboard. And we could avoid all that stuff. But I want to increase engagement and show people are bought in first. And so basically I'm doing this. I'm giving them people gifts, saying, hey, here's a copy of a course. Here's a copy of all different things.
In fact, if I push that.
But after eventually, it'll open up the platform. And this is where the AI portion comes in.
Is there anything else you'd like to explore? Now, this is where the AI portion comes in. I'd said, yes, please tell me about AI and deep learning. And the first thing it does is it uses AI to look up a response, and then it provides the response back in text format. But other than the fact that the response is quite accurate, quite good, I also noticed that I just got a phone call. So let's answer the call.
Hi there, this is the Raid AI assistant. I'm calling to see if you have any questions about AI that I can help with. How can I assist you today?
Well, I'm interested in learning more about AI and deep learning. Can you assist?
That's great. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have about AI and how it can be applied.
Now, this could go back and forth, and there's all sorts of great things. Another thing I want to share with you is business analytics. So I could say you're a data scientist with operational experience. This is a data set. I wanted you to look at all this data, give me business insights, recommendations, use lots of visuals, and it looks kind of like this. I uploaded a data set, but I could basically integrate this on platform.openai.com and have all my data come through, and I could run all sorts of business analytics. What's it doing here? It's using Code Interpreter. This allows it to write Python code and create all sorts of really interesting insights for me. And this is something that's really interesting to me because I've even used this to develop code. I mean, some of you are using GitHub Copilot. I use that to build a ERP program, but I think that this is really, really awesome. You know, I think it's so fast. It gets great insights. It gives you visuals. Now, that prompt is pretty big, and I think one of the most important things about that prompt, and I said stop between each step before you proceed. That makes it so I'm not limited out by a number of tokens, and I could then proceed and get all my comprehensive data and get the results I want. Here's giving me strategic recommendations, what the most popular flights are. This is for British Airways, of course. But I could do this with any kind of data. That exact prompt with any kind of data. It could be my sales data, it could be my financials, it could be my marketing data. And I could get amazing results out of that data. And the visuals and all sorts of things that pop out of it are actually quite decent. Now, this is always going to be a first step. You always want to probably audit things. You know, AI still today hallucinates. I remember if you looked at ChatGPT 4, it couldn't even do basic algebra. I was mentoring a fourth grader, and it couldn't even do basic fractions and additions. Now with the new model, I think it's kind of accurate. I'm still a little hesitant, but I like how that's possible. I can also do fraud detection. I say, hey, here's a $50,000 iPhone in this data, and run the same kind of prompt and see what the results are. And it's going to search for that outlier and try to find what's possible. But noticing that it's going to find that outlier, it's going to say, I found something, a $50,000 iPhone. All the other phones don't cost that. Why don't you send this information to a human auditor so we can see what's possible? I think that's really interesting because humans are always going to be a part of the puzzle. AI is not ever going to replace humans. But what it can do, just like how the internet enhances our productivity, it can make all sorts of things happen so much faster. Social media analytics. I could take my marketing campaigns. I could try to identify what is going to be the best campaign where I should invest my money. So here, I'm using this prompt, and I'm saying, here's a bunch of data. I want you to analyze it and recommend what is the best thing I should do. Great business use case. It's going to see, hey, did your campaign on Facebook, Twitter, etc. These keywords are getting the highest conversions. This is where you can make more money. Maybe you should split test some different campaigns and do this and that. These are great business use cases. A lot of businesses will hire us to do custom development for just this specific purpose. Hey, here's a copy of our highest converting creative. Make 50 copies of something that's slightly different in color or language, and then use AI to kind of automate the process of enhancing what's possible and kind of choosing what's possible. So I love that. So we showed some great examples. Now, field experience is king. This reminds me of the story here where I won an auction at Virgin Unite. It was to basically fly fighter jets. These are Italian fighter jets called Marchettis. And I sat in this place called Air Combat USA, and you sit in this room, and for 30 minutes, you have a pilot talking about strategies, how you should go underneath your enemy and shoot up and dive and twirl. And I said, oh, this is interesting. Maybe when I watch Top Gun next, it might be useful. And he said, okay, cool, we're going to go outside, get into your plane, and take off. I said, okay, great, this is going to be fun. So I get into the plane, we take off, and we're in the sky, and the pilot says, okay, go for it. I said, go for what? He said, what do you mean, go for what? I spent the last 30 minutes telling you about how to fly a fighter plane. And I'm like, oh, I thought that was for entertainment. No, you're actually doing it. Here, move the stick forward. So I do that. Zoom, I'm diving down. I'll pull the stick back. Cool, I'm going up. I'm not doing loop-to-loops. I'm doing barrel rolls. He said, shoot the gun. There's another plane. Smoke comes out of it. And I actually was able to fly the fighter plane. Now, of course, he lands the plane. Similarly, this is how it works with AI. You got all this great information, all these great tools. You just got to play with it, use it. I could talk forever, but Peter Drucker, the world's #1 business professor in history, said, I don't care what you learn in my workshops. I care about what you're going to do on Monday. I care what you're going to execute on, what you're going to put into practice, what you're going to actually do with the knowledge that you gain here. So try some of these tools. I'm going to give you access to all these tools in a little bit. But learn from the field. Seek the truth from those who are seeking the truth. Run from those who have found it. There's always going to be people that are saying, oh, this is how things are. Find out for yourself. Seek out what's going on and get the results you want. This is a typical company. You have the people that are strategists. Maybe you have 15 years or more. There's C-suite or leaders. They're kind of growing the company. You might have operations, people who are managing teams. Maybe they have like 7 to 15 years of experience in traditional organization. You have people doing the tactics, actually doing the coding as opposed to managing teams of coders. That's cool. And a lot of people find out about AI and they see the productivity and they just say, this is what we need to do. This is what a lot of Fortune 100 companies are doing, and they're wrong. Most of them, who are really smart people, just don't want success. Because success requires change, and most people don't like change. It requires them to potentially become obsolete if they don't learn new skills. And people in history have spent their whole lifetime mastering specific skills and their whole career, decades, to master specific skills. They don't realize you can learn so much faster than ever before, and that's what's possible. You have to realize that you're awesome, you're irreplaceable, your artistic gaze, your strategic knowledge, how you do things is irreplaceable, and that you can pick up these skills super fast. It's a learnable skill set, this all is. And instead, you can build an organization that looks like this. You have AI powered at the center of your organization, where it gives you a lot more strategists, a lot more people in operations, and a lot less people that are doing the routine tasks that could be automated and more effective. This requires continual optimizations, quality assurance, reducing your error rate, and making sure your AI models are ethical, transparent. Burn the boats. What is this? Vikings used to light their boats on fire where they attacked because there was no running, no escape. That's where you are today. AI is not going back into Pandora's box. You got to learn how AI can be incorporated into your company. Otherwise, you're going to have people like me and people that are trained by people like me or my instructors taking your company and you're out of business. Or you're not taking advantage of the rapid acceleration of profits that your company could be made. Or you're replaced, but you're replaced by people that are AI-powered people. I have our head of operations. He's 14 years old. How can I trust this guy? Now, of course, when he was 9 years old, he was selling dozens of chatbots a month for $3,000. So he's not a typical 14-year-old. But I could hire people at any age, and they could use AI and be more effective than people that have dozens of years of experience. But turn the negatives into positives. You have to decide. A lot of people are looking at AI and they're like, well, this is scary. I don't know if this is something that I want to do. But instead, when you change your perspective, you might see something new. Other people will look at certain kind of images, like a moon. They go, oh, that's really romantic. That's something else. It's really mad. Like madness, insanity. Right? Reminds me of a werewolf. Some people look at something and they say, this is painful. Some other people think this is pleasurable. But how you see the world determines how you get to your success. This reminds me of a student in our other company. We have a company called our Self-Mastery Company. And in that company, we do a lot of personal growth exercises. And one of those exercises is we have clients that will take a box of crayons, because it's not a writing test, it's not an art test, and draw a picture of who they are deep down inside on the one side of the page. Then, on the other side of the page, this is an exercise you might want to try to do for wellness exercises, is you might want to draw who people think you are. And you'll notice that they're always different pictures. It's always going to be that case. Now, one of my mentors was a guy named Tony Hsieh. He created a company called Zappos from zero to a multi-billion-dollar company. And he used to come to our board meetings and have every single person in the room write down a different word representing the corporate culture, and everyone wrote down different words. You got to have alignment. And the same thing here. You got to have a bridge in the congruency gap. So what is this guy? I said, well, this guy drew a picture of a dead dragon coming out of a cave. And he said, this is who I am deep down inside. Do I really want to show the world who I really am? Well, I told him, who else does that? What about heavy metal stars? What about people like Donald Trump? Because it's more about the energy that you bring to the project and how you convey your marketing and your value to the world, then you're trying to make a specific kind of impression or try to do things in a certain way. The same thing goes with AI. You know, there's so many different things that you can do with AI. You got to test it. You got to use it to express your brand in a faster way, in a more unique way. And this is the power of what's possible today, not the future. And it's up to you, all of you, to take advantage of this and make sure your business prospers with these tools and your artistic vision and gaze. So what's the next step you can make? Well, I put together a bunch of free resources for you. One of them is this newsletter. It's called Why AI. People are always asking, how can I stay up to speed about what's possible with AI? Well, I created this. This is something where I can share the top AI models, the top tools, all my tools. In fact, you can download a whole video course from me, and this is going to be an amazing opportunity for you. Other than that, I created a group. It's my WhatsApp group. So that QR code there allows you to get my WhatsApp group. We can get me to answer any questions. At least for the next few months, there's all sorts of forums, and I link to my blogs, our social media videos, expert articles. I invite people to special events. I do events all over the world. I've been doing 4 to 7 events a year. We have our staff, you know, doing all sorts of interesting things. I've invested over $100,000 in building free resources to give to you, and I give them away continually. I drip them just through this WhatsApp group. So if you're interested in learning, that's where you can do that. Plus, I have a 30-minute deep dive coaching session I offer to people, where you get over 30 years of experience of me and someone named Brad Moss, who built $1 billion business with an Amazon, personalized questions from instructors, private invitations to trainings, interactive exercises. We'll take your technology to the next level, show you what's possible with AI for your business, or if you really just want to learn how to use Flux Prompt or some of our tools, we can do that because we provide a lot of tools and it's free. I'll get you on a call with me or my team or both of us, and all you have to do to get access to our custom app team and get a quote for any custom development, we have custom AI app development lab. We also are building a new AI robotics lab. I'm actually getting quotes from different people to work with right now, but we've been doing all sorts of great stuff, and I'd love to have you there. So I'm gonna give you my contact information if you wanna stay involved. So if you're interested in any of the coaching, I do 30-minute coaching programs on a weekly basis. Also, our WhatsApp, you can connect with me on my LinkedIn, and also you can connect with me in my email. Anyway, I'd love to stay in touch with anybody here. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to have all you guys here. And I really hope that you really take AI to the next level for your business. Cheers.